Hi there everybody. On today's video I have this BMW e46. This is a 2004 and basically what's happened is that the cluster is not working. Just gonna get the car. I'm gonna get this straight. Okay, so nothing is working on the cluster. The rev counter, the coolant temperature gauge, or the fuel gauge, or even any of the lights, only the ABS, sometimes the airbus light coming on. But basically, there we are, that's the airbag. So having had a look at the fuses, all the fuses seem to be okay. There's 3 fuses that you can check, and those 3 I had a look and they are okay. I think it's fuse 10, 45 and 49, something like that, and they are 5 amp fuses. What I'm gonna do, just as a quick check, is I'm gonna remove this cluster, and I happen to have another one, so I'm gonna plug it in and see if that fixes the issue. I've known that some of these clusters can fail, or there's a microchip in the back that fails, and then you can get it repaired or you can repair it yourself, but I'm not really that familiar with that. If it's a plug and play unit, then it'll be easier for me to replace it with another one. So I'm going to try that today. And to remove this cluster, we have 2 Torx screws. I've already removed one. It's a T20, and then there is another one there, this one. Obviously, if you were to replace the cluster, to avoid any mileage discrepancies, you need to find one that has either the same mileage as yours or a little bit higher. But if it's any lower, then obviously that's going into not only breaking the law, but it will show as a mileage discrepancy on a HPI check. Right, anyway, after you remove those 2, this cluster usually just pulls out, but I'm gonna get a little pin to just pull it from here. Okay, so just using this little thing to pull it out from the holes. And then this is pretty much out. So all we need to do now is unplug it from behind. So can get it out here. We have these little connectors. You need to press on the little plastic to release. To release that little white clamp. Basically, I need to press on that and then pull the this one, and then there's another one on this end. Obviously, doing this with 2 hands is a lot easier. so I may just have to do that. So that's all I'm doing. I'm gonna disconnect that. Okay, so once you unplug the cluster from the back, to get it out, the best thing is to get the steering wheel down. You got the little key, locking key here, so push it down and pull it towards you, and then you'll be able to just get this out from the side. And in there is the little microchip, but you can also, just check the wiring. Although this doesn't really move that much, so I don't really suspect a wiring issue. I suspect more of a cluster issue. So I'm gonna get the other cluster, plug it in, and see what happens. Okay, so just plugged in the other cluster. It's the other one there. That's the faulty one. This is the one I've got. The other one I've got. It's exactly the same. Obviously, it belongs to another car, but just need to try. So this has got an immobilizer, because this is an import, so it just has an immobilizer. I have to. Okay, so this is what we have. Got a few lights on in there, but everything is kind of functioning now. Because the other cluster, the indicators, nothing was basically working. So all the lights are working now. We have these lights on. I just wondered whether those lights relate to, okay, that one, the radiator one is gone. These other two here could be related to changing the cluster itself. So I may have to either drive the car a little bit or delete those, that's like a fault code. But the point is that is the actual cluster that's failed. So we're gonna need another cluster. And we're gonna need one that has a similar mileage, well, like I said, same mileage or more. But if you have an issue with your cluster that is not coming on, so it could actually be the cluster itself. So just make sure. Well, in this case, I guess I'm a bit lucky. I have another one that I can test, and I can see the fuel gauge going up and the temperature gauge going up, and obviously the rev counter going up. Now it's possible that because the previous car was not measuring speed, it detected a fault. Yeah, but this I can see the speedometer wanting to go up. I just can't go too fast right now. The lights, the rev counter, fuel, everything is working, except I cannot get rid of those two lights, the DSC or ASC and the yellow warning lamp there that relates to brakes or speed sensors and things. But having checked the fault codes, that's what I get. Vehicle identification number is different. So that probably coming from here, and this fault code is under the ABS ASC system, which means I can't really just buy another cluster and replace it. That's what it seems to be the case. So I may have to look into getting that one repaired, or somebody has to program this in, and I'm not sure how to do that. I don't know how to program this in. Nevertheless, this cluster belongs to another car, so I won't be messing with it anymore. I'll fit it back to the other car, but just that little update that it does not seem to be just a plug and play device. It may need programming to make sure it works properly. So I can see it is working properly, but I'm unable to delete those two lights. So I just wanted to give a little update on that in case anybody is working on this. But the cluster is definitely faulty, because this cluster is working and the other one is not. So anyway, hope this video helps diagnosing your cluster. You may have other different issues altogether, but this is what I've got, and it is a cluster issue. So thank you for watching.